What the fuck? Today, we're looking at the craziest Diary of a Wimpy Kid fanfics. These fanfics will leave you like, what the hell did I just watch? So sit back, relax, and let's do this. It's just a regular day in math class. Well, kinda. There's a math quiz that Greg is absolutely freaking out about. And you know if Greg fails math, he's gonna get a mega ass whooping. So Greg needs to lock in for this quiz. Right as Greg is about to take the test, he hears,
"Attention all students, this is a lockdown."
Oh, shit! Everyone is panicking, they book it for the exit, but Greg is somehow the last one alive. He runs to the library and finds Rowley. Holly's also there, but she has her headphones in and she doesn't really know what's going on. Sadly, Greg and Rowley book it. Greg and Rowley run upstairs where they meet other survivors. They build a wall and plan an attack. The shooter completely demolishes the wall, bro. That wall did nothing. Everyone died, but thankfully Rowley absorbed all the bullets, so Greg was able to survive. Greg hides under Rowley's body, but because Rowley starts drooling, Greg runs away. Like, bro, it's drool. It's a life and death situation. Why are you running away? Greg disarms the shooter, and we find out that it's actually Fregley. And his reason for shooting up the school was because he got bullied. And I mean, it's kind of deserved.
You wanna see my second anus?
The cops walk in on Greg holding the gun, and he gets framed and he gets a life sentence in jail. Before I start, this is probably like the weirdest story, so I need to do a lot of censoring. Whatever I say in this, if you know, you know. If you don't look it up. Every November, Greg's mom hosts the annual No Peanuts November. Whoever can go the longest without eating peanuts gets the infinite peanut pass. That means you can eat as many peanuts as you want with no consequences. The games begin. Greg's dad is the first to get out, just like every single year. Manny was surprisingly the next to get out. He accidentally ate a peanut after someone put a vacuum cleaner to his carry. Manny took the loss very heavily and he eventually blew his head off with a shotgun. The pig was next to get out after doing some very, very messed up things to Manny's corpse. Grandma says that No Peanut November has gone way too far, and she demanded that No Peanut November end now. But there's no way in hell that's happening. No Peanut November is No Peanut November. Okay, let's see who's still in. Uncle Gary is still in even after his incident last winter. Grandpa is also still in, and he's actually a big threat because he will force feed you peanuts if you're not looking. And last up, we got Byron. Byron is going absolutely crazy because he's gotten second place every single year and he's about to lose it. It's now Thanksgiving Day and the Heffley family is having a Thanksgiving party. During this party, the mom tries everything she can to get the guys to eat a peanut. During all of that, Grandpa snuck up on Byron and made him eat a peanut. Byron went ballistic. If I can't have the pass, no one can.
23 dead in domestic shooting.
Everyone in Greg's family died except for Greg, Mom, Dad, Roderick, and Grandma. Grandma had it and she said that Susan has officially gone way, way, way too far. She demanded that No Peanut November end now. No Peanut November continues. I forgot to mention that Uncle Gary also survived, but he gets out. So the last remaining is Greg and Roger. Susan does some very questionable things, but all I'm going to say is that Roderick eats a peanut. Greg is the winner. After all these years, Greg finally won No Peanuts November. He can get his infinite peanut pass. Or so he thought. Greg's mom is actually gay corn star and serial killer Sammy Twitchdick. Greg's mom is a man, and apparently he was the one who killed Manny and hired Byron to kill everyone else at the party. Twitchdick tries to eat Greg's popsicle, but Greg kicks him in the nuts and runs away. Greg finds Roderick's dead body, but now's not the time to grieve. He keeps going. He jumps out the window. He's running in the freezing cold. He keeps going until he finds a shed. Twitchdick is still right behind him.
Gregory, don't you want that peanut pass?
Twitchdick charges at Greg, but Greg grabs an axe just in time and hits him in the head. In the freezing cold, Greg eats his final peanut and dies. One day, Greg is just chilling, he's minding his own business, but he notices that Holly Hill is looking at him weird, like she wants that Gregussy, if you know what I mean. Greg finds a note from someone telling him to meet them at their house after school. Greg tells Rowley about this, and Rowley tells him that it's probably from Holly. It's just kind of weird that Rowley seems too excited about this, as if he's the one who's gonna be smooching on Holly. In fact, Rowley has just been acting really weird in general.
I don't know, man. You've been seeming sus lately.
Anyway, Greg gets ready and he meets Holly at her house. Almost instantly, she leans in for a kiss, so Greg shrugs it off and goes for it. Greg opens his eyes to see that he's actually kissing Rowley. Greg books it. He runs home just to find his dad and Rowley's dad getting busy. Then Greg's mom and Rowley's mom walk in on them kissing. So then they kiss each other too. And then this leads to the Jeffersons and the Heffleys coming together as one family. So that means that Rowley is going to be even closer to Greg now. And so the rest of the fanfic is just Rowley trying everything in his power to get with Greg. Like, he convinces everyone that Greg is gay. He just does a lot of just questionable things. And there's also a side story with Greg and Fregley selling cocaine. It's pretty much just a Breaking Bad ripoff. So there's going to be a school dance. Rowley makes a deal with Greg. Rowley will leave Greg alone forever if Greg can find a date to the dance. This is Greg's chance to escape Rowley forever. Greg tries to ask out Holly, but she's going out with Bryce. Every other girl is taking. Greg's chances are looking very, very slim. But Greg gets just lucky enough to go with Trista. So Greg goes to the dance with Trista, and Rowley sees that Greg actually found a date. Rowley can't believe this. He retreats to a corner and cries. Greg sees that Bryce isn't with Holly, so this is his chance to make his move. Greg Heffley. It was Bryce.
I'm gay too, Greg. Let's get together.
Yeah, apparently Bryce is gay and also wants to get with Greg. Rowley's not having this, so he also gets up on the stage and he starts arguing with Bryce. Greg's had it. He crashes out on both of them and tells them how he truly feels. If I can't be with Greg, no one can. It was a bomb strapped to his chest. Everyone ran. But with all those people trying to exit at the same time, the exit was Jane. I've won. It's been 25 years since Greg last wrote in his journal. He works a dead-end job with Bryce Anderson. Roderick has a family. Manny lives in New York now, and the whole family hates him. And Rowley now lives in Boston. Greg has nothing going for him. He's just living day to day with no direction. It was already bad for Greg, but things could only get worse. Hello?
Get to the hospital now. It's Dad. The cancer has gotten worse.
Manny tried to pay a visit, but it's safe to say that he wasn't welcome. Greg is genuinely scared for the first time in his life. He never imagined that his life would turn out like this. Greg begins to freak out, but he realizes that it's probably best to talk to someone about this. There's only one person who Greg can really talk to, someone who truly understands him. Rowley. Greg and Rowley were best friends. They spent almost every single day together. They went to the same college. They moved into the same neighborhood. These moments were the happiest moments in Greg's life. Everything was going perfectly until Rowley got a job for a comic book syndicate in Boston. Before Rowley went off, Greg had one last thing to tell his best friend.
I love you. Yeah, I love you too, man. No, I'm serious. I don't know if I'm bi or what, but I love you.
Rowley left the next day, and they haven't spoken since. Greg drives to Boston to meet his old friend. I'm not gay, Greg. Greg went home. His dad is dead. Greg reveals the resentment he feels toward his father for making him hide his sexuality. Greg still goes to the grave for some sort of closure, but Manny is there. After all of this, Greg begins to spiral. He goes to Fregley, who gives him some surprisingly good advice. He goes to his mom, he goes to Bryce. He tries to go to Roderick, but Roderick doesn't seem of much help. Greg has destroyed every last relationship he's ever had. He has nowhere to turn. He's lost, he's confused, he's hopeless. Defeated, Greg commits. Okay, the ending is dark, but it isn't that dark. We find out that Greg is actually still alive. He leaves one last journal entry saying that he's a new Greg and he will forge a new path. Greg is reborn and the old Greg is dead. But yeah, those were the craziest fanfics I could find. Thank you so much for watching. Like, actually, like, subscribe. Peace out.